and get access to their entire. Other software such as Streamlabs, Twitch Studio, etc. aren't optimized as well as OBS, and I've found often increase your CPU usage by a minimum of 8% just by being open. So get OBS from the link in the description and boom, you've already saved a chunk of resources. So there are 3 very common issues you'll face: dropped frames, skipped frames, and lagged frames. All of these are caused by different things, and most of the time new streamers will call all types of lag just dropped frames. So let's diagnose these in OBS and then we'll cover Streamlabs in a second. First, open OBS, click View, and click the Stats panel. You will get a lot of information such as CPU usage, storage space, current stability issues. Imagine like you're trying to send video over the internet through a big tube and the frames keep leaking out of the holes. If you have dropped frames, then to fix it, you'll want to adjust your bitrate to match your stream settings or your upload speed. Try a more stable connection, such as Ethernet, or turn off a setting called dynamic bitrate, which again is literally the worst setting in the world. And yes, I'll show you where that is in a second. Next is lagged frames. These are seen here, and these are caused by high GPU usage, which means to solve these, you need to free up room on your GPU by lowering your game settings, such as resolution, frame rate, or potentially lowering your webcam resolution in OBS from 1080p to 720p. Also, you can generally lower your stream resolution, general video settings, or other encoding settings as well. You could try closing other software that might be taking up your GPU resources, and again, I'll show you where all the settings you can change for this are in a second. Below that is skipped frames, which are high CPU usage, and again, without explaining in detail why. But I hope you'll forgive me. As I've always said, I hated my math teachers for doing this to me. So instead, I'm going to make this simple for beginners while also trying to make sure you don't leave this video with no idea what to change if something goes wrong. If you understand what you're changing and why, you'll be far more likely to get better stream quality. So head to settings, click video, and first things first, we're going to pick a resolution. Now personally, I stream 1920 by 1080p on both my base canvas and my output. The difference between these two settings is essentially base canvas is your preview window size inside OBS or Streamlabs, and the output is what your final video size is going to be when it goes to your stream. The 2 main resolutions you'll pick between are 1920 by 1080 or 1280 by 720. These days, 1080p tends to be the standard, but if you're on a low-end computer, 720p will be a better option for you. So if you find your OBS struggling later thanks to the stats panel and task manager, you can come back here and drop the output to 720p. That way you're scaling 1080 down to 720 for a lower resolution, but not terrible quality. Below that is our FPS or frames per second. You'll set this to either 30 or 60 most of the time. However, if you're say Australian like myself, European, or another country that uses what's called PAL, you might want your FPS to be set to 25 or 50 depending on where you're sending the footage. I'm in Australia and still use 30 to 60 because it doesn't matter most of the time anymore, as it's all going to YouTube streams or Twitch streams. With that, we're moving on to our output. Personally, I use advanced mode, but if you're experiencing lag, you can solve all of this with just the simple settings. So if we're doing this in the simplest form, let's start with bitrate. This will determine most of your stream's quality. There is a link in the description to an article by Twitch and another by YouTube to show you bitrate settings for different resolutions. Personally, if you're doing a fast action gameplay on Twitch, I recommend 720p output and between 4500 to 6000 bitrate. If the gameplay is slower and lacks a lot of movement, then 1080p and 6000 bitrate will work just as well. Twitch bitrate is technically soft capped at 6000 and hard capped at 8000. 1000 bits is 1 megabit, so you need an upload speed that can handle the bitrate you set plus wiggle room. So for 6000 bitrate, around 10 to 12 megabits to stream at the soft cap safely. If you're not sure what your upload speed is, go to speedtest.net, linked in the description, and click test. As long as this comes up saying you have 10 to 12 steady, you should be okay. For a YouTube stream, you're going to want a much higher bitrate than Twitch, both because YouTube has better technology behind it, so you'll have better quality, but also because it transcodes every stream. This means you'll need a higher bitrate to make it look nice. But this is a good thing because your viewers can watch at lower resolutions no matter what size of a creator you are. Twitch will only let big creators have transcoding, whereas YouTube gives it to everyone. For 1080p 60 frames per second, I'd recommend 12,000 bitrate, and 720p 60 FPS, I'd recommend 7,000 to 8,000 bitrate. But again, your own internet speed and stability will control this, so keep an eye on dropped frames and use the fact sheets in the description as a further guide. Now, you won't need to touch audio bitrate most likely, so we'll keep moving. Now, for encoder, this used to be so simple, but it's gotten a lot more confusing as more graphics cards have become decent and OBS has added more options to itself. So I'll try to keep it simple for you by focusing just on 3: NVENC H.264, X.264, and AB1. To make this straightforward, if you're using any NVIDIA card past the GTX 600, which was released in 2012, so likely any NVIDIA card being used on a semi-new PC, you're going to pick NVENC H.264. This means you're using a special chip on the graphics card to encode the footage. This chip is separate and just used solely for encoding and decoding, so it won't affect your gameplay performance. And if you're using a graphics card from before that, you'll likely use X264, which will be using your CPU to encode and decode. Finally, AV1 is a newer encoder, and I'll be honest, I am still learning the best case for using it, and I'll link directly a video in the description by EPOS Vox, who has done extensive testing if you want to deep dive. Now, if you're using an AMD